Rescue teams are searching for survivors tonight following a devastating earthquake that struck central Myanmar. The tremors were so powerful that they were felt in neighboring Thailand and southwestern China. In Myanmar, at least 144 people have been confirmed dead, with over 700 injured. However, authorities fear the death toll will rise significantly. The earthquake, which measured 7.7 in magnitude, had its epicenter near Mandalay, Myanmar's second-largest city. Over 800 miles away in Bangkok, a tragic collapse occurred when an unfinished skyscraper crumbled in seconds, leaving 100 construction workers unaccounted for. Live footage from the site shows the extensive damage as rescue efforts continue. Due to strict information control by Myanmar's military government, details about the disaster are difficult to verify. However, BBC correspondent Caroline High, in collaboration with the BBC Burmese service and BBC Verify, has been assessing the situation. Her report includes distressing images of the aftermath. Buddhist monks were seen in shock, caught between collapsing buildings. At Mandalay International Airport, a plane swayed violently from the force of the quake as terrified passengers scrambled for safety. In the city itself, panic spread through the streets as buildings crumbled. Mandalay, home to over 1 million people, was left in chaos, with many structures dangerously disfigured. One woman was trapped with her baby, her legs pinned beneath rubble on the ground floor of a collapsed building. In the capital, Nay Pyi Taw, rescue workers fought tirelessly to free her. The full scale of the disaster remains unclear, but hospitals have been overwhelmed with the injured. With ambulances unable to keep up, people used any available transport to rush victims to medical facilities, where they were treated outside due to the fear of aftershocks. The authorities have made urgent appeals for blood donations. "I was doing housework when I suddenly felt a strong shaking," one survivor recalled. "I was terrified the building would collapse. As I ran outside, a falling cabinet hit me." The humanitarian crisis has prompted Myanmar's internationally isolated military junta to make a rare appeal for foreign aid. "We need international assistance as soon as possible," a government spokesperson stated. The devastation is widespread. A revered pagoda in Mandalay collapsed, along with crucial infrastructure, cutting off many areas. Roads have buckled, power and internet services are down, and in regions controlled by rebel forces, the situation remains even more uncertain. The earthquake's impact was felt as far as Yunnan province in China, where residents fled in fear. A dramatic scene unfolded as water from a high-rise swimming pool suddenly cascaded down onto the streets below. Amid the destruction, rescue teams continue their urgent work. A volunteer in Mandalay told the BBC that many people remain trapped under rubble, screaming for help. He reported seeing more than 100 bodies by nightfall in one small village alone. Meanwhile, in Bangkok, rescue workers are racing against time at the collapsed construction site. BBC correspondent Nick Marsh reports that the scene remains chaotic, with emergency crews working tirelessly to locate survivors. The latest figures confirm 6 deaths, but over 100 workers are still missing beneath the rubble. The earthquake struck without warning, reducing years of construction work to ruins in mere seconds. More than 400 workers were at the site when the building collapsed. A witness, Matthew Martin, described the moment. "First, our building started shaking. I looked outside and saw streetlights swaying. After about 30 seconds, I turned back and saw the skyscraper collapsing, with a huge cloud of dust rising into the air. It was surreal." Emergency responders continue to search for survivors. The scale of the destruction presents a massive challenge. Just clearing the debris to begin rescue operations took hours. As night falls, the atmosphere is a mix of shock and dread over what might still be found beneath the rubble. For Thailand, the earthquake serves as a chilling reminder of the devastation in neighboring Myanmar. Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin visited the site, acknowledging the magnitude of the disaster. Understanding the earthquake's impact, seismologists explain that Myanmar lies in one of the world's most active seismic zones. The earthquake's power was extraordinary, making it the strongest to hit the region in a century. The Earth's crust is composed of shifting tectonic plates. When these plates suddenly slip along a fault line, immense energy is released, triggering an earthquake. This particular quake, originating near Mandalay, registered a magnitude of 7.7, 10 times more powerful than a 6.7 quake. It was followed by a 6.4 aftershock, with more expected in the coming days. Experts warn that the quake's shallow depth, estimated at just 6 miles below the surface, amplified its destructive force. The shallower the quake, the stronger the shaking at the surface, one scientist explained. That's what causes damage, not just the magnitude. The aid response, with Myanmar's military government calling for international assistance, aid agencies are scrambling to respond. The United Nations is mobilizing a humanitarian effort from its logistics hub in Dubai. The urgency is critical, as time is running out to save those trapped under the rubble. However, delivering aid will be a challenge. Since the military coup in 2021, Myanmar has been in a state of conflict, with millions already displaced. The junta has previously restricted aid access, especially in rebel-controlled regions. There are fears that politics could hinder life-saving relief efforts. A volunteer rescue worker told the BBC that military personnel were noticeably absent from his rescue efforts. "We are digging people out with our bare hands. We desperately need equipment to save lives. As the world watches, the priority remains clear: getting aid to those who need it most, before it's too late."